All right, GSD fam and everybody out there, we're back with another episode with my main man, Mason. This dude's been a literal crusher, like an executioner when it comes to like taking information, executing it, and just kind of always up leveling his skills because like it's unique when you find somebody that does what they say they're going to do, but then does it faster than they actually intended to even do it. So this is going to be a great conversation for all you guys out there listening. And I'll give a little bit of a background and I'll let you introduce yourself right after Mason. But Mason started with us about 9 months ago, and he came from an engineering background. And about a little over a year ago, he'd started his marketing agency and taken some courses and whatnot. And his focal point is in real estate, which we have a lot of experience with amongst other industries out there. And he came across us, decided he wanted to roll with the GSD. And we're going to kind of document the journey. So if you haven't seen the previous interviews with Mason, there's a few out there. So I suggest you go check those out so you can see the storyline continue to ascend and grow. It gets better. Like this sequel constantly gets better. And that's what I'm really proud of. So congratulations to you, Mason.
Thank you. I appreciate it, Rahul. I'm happy to be here, sitting down, talking again and doing another update.
Absolutely. So give a background on what you do.
Yeah. So what you said is accurate. So prior to the agency, I was a mechanical engineer, started my agency a little over a year ago, 14 months ago, to be exact. And it's, 12, 13, 14, 14 months ago or something like that. Joined up with you guys in March. So it's been, like you said, 9 months now. And when the agency that I started is a real estate specific agency. So we're doing the marketing, digital, like brand awareness, digital marketing, lead generation, appointment generation, and some additional like cool coaching that we have for all the real estate clients. So whether it's a solo agent, team, or brokerage, we help all of those people generate additional appointments each month. And in addition to that, give them some extra accountability and coaching as well. So they're closing more deals on an annual and monthly basis.
That's amazing. And like, speaking of your offers, like since we've started, like how many times do they have to be like tweaked, if you can even quantify this, like tweaked or evolved so that you can actually keep converting and improving and innovating this offer?
Oh, it's endless. So obviously there was a lot of work that needed to be done when I first joined with you guys, because I was kind of shooting from the hip. I did get myself to right about like the 10K club, like mark, $10,000 a month mark on my own, just purely like going through the trenches, you know what I mean? And pairing up with kind of lower level, lower ticket coaching. But the majority of it was on my own. And then once I joined, that was one of the first things we changed up my offer quite a bit, which helped me really add fuel to the fire and take off pretty quickly. And now I'm doing, triple, quadruple that on a monthly basis now. And I mean, it's an endless, it's almost like split testing your ads. You're always trying to split test, always trying to improve. So although it'll work for a certain period of time, but then you got to take it to the next notch, up a notch, right? So like it's been 9 months now, and I can't tell you the number of iterations that I've displayed in my offerings, or just same offering, but I've packaged it different on the front end in terms of on my advertisements that I'm displaying. And so it's been good that I have back and forth with you guys each week, because there's been an endless number of iterations. And actually one of the things that I was just working on, wasn't yesterday, I think it was Monday, was kind of doodling on my iPad here about how to restructure the offer again. Again, same thing, but just repackaging it to make it look a little prettier, to present to the public so that I can get some even more clients in, add a little more fuel to the fire.
I'm glad that you're constantly innovating, because other people, there's competition, so you can't be blind to that, of course. But I always hear people say like, all I need is one offer. Like, that's not what it takes. Like you can say, I'll guarantee you 30 transactions in 3 minutes. And if you can't fulfill it, and if nobody wants to buy it, you have to innovate it. So it's not a matter of like when you're lost in the dark and you're trying to come up with something and you're shooting from the hip. That's one thing. That's the hustle mode, which is really good. You need to go through the trenches. But then once you understand that what innovation even means in an offer, then it's a small tweak. It's the same offer presented slightly differently. So that's what's great. That's what I love working with you, is like those little pivot moves has that huge monumental like changes, because a lot of people are like making whole new industry shifts and they're changing their whole entire offer every week or every month. And they're wondering why they can't get a salesperson or they can't sell. It's because they've confused themselves so much. They're no longer clear on what they even do in the first place.
Yeah, if you're confusing yourselves, then you're definitely confusing your leads and your potential clients. And then that's just going to result in a lack of sales. And lack of business in general, right?
Totally. I mean, you and I have had some unique conversations, and I gotta say, like, they've been fun, but they're really unique. Like, I love the fact that you bring them to me because you remind me of the questions I would ask somebody else, whether it's customer retention, negotiating, hard situations. Like, what do you think has been like most beneficial to you, like going through those types of questions and getting the answers? Because you actually take them, remember them, and you are prepared for the future for them, which is awesome. Because a lot of people don't do that. They don't take information and absorb it and execute it and learn and get better. But that's one thing, like maybe it's the mechanical engineering brain of yours, but I love the fact that you take information and you just stack skyscrapers on top. So you run with it and don't forget.
I think it's a couple things. One of the things, yeah, it being a couple things. The first thing is I think it just comes from me just having that personal desire to be one of those people where like for instance, if you have a coaching call and there's more than one person on that call, like there's other people on there, I want to be the first person to raise my hand, get my answer, go. Because I'm trying to shortcut not to say shortcut my success, but there are shortcuts in life, right? And you don't have to wait to get your answer a week, 2 weeks, if you can get it today, tomorrow, or whatever. So I want to get that information as soon as I quickly can so I can pivot as quickly as possible, like you were mentioning, and go to that next step. I want to, okay, this hurdle's in front of me. I'm not trying to sit in front of this hurdle for a couple days, a couple weeks, or a couple months before I get over it. I'm trying to get over this one onto the next one. Because the quicker I can do that, the quicker I can scale my business, the more people I can employ, all that type of stuff. So that's the one thing. The other thing that I think is beneficial is just in general, having access to the consolidated knowledge in one place. So I'm sure one thing that'll resonate with a lot of people is, I mean, I was like anybody else in the agency space when I first created my agency, especially since I just surpassed the 1 year mark. Like I'm only 14 months in, right? And I'm blessed to have the blessings I've had, like in the amount of business that I've done and what I've created with the help of you guys. But before that, I was picking knowledge from listening to these people on YouTube, or I was doing this like free course with these people that they're offering, or I was on the email list for another coach or something. And I was trying to pull knowledge from all these different sources to get answers to those questions you're referring to. And then I just kind of ended up, like you said, confusing myself because I didn't have a consolidated form of knowledge. Not only that, but some of those programs, especially free ones that you join, you can't expect to get like insane results out of a free program. Obviously, if you're doing a higher ticket program, that's going to provide better results than what a free program is. It's just like if you pay $17 for a mini masterclass versus a couple $100 or a couple $1,000 for something, this one's probably going to provide you better results because there's going to be more in it, right? As there should be. And so just having access to you guys and like joining those, I guess I should retrack real quick so I don't get lost. What I was about to say was, if you go to join those people or join different programs and sources, what you end up doing is one, confusing yourself because you're not getting like if you have coaches that are saying different things, right, that conflict with one another, you're going to be constantly running around and not knowing what to do. You don't have a straight line path to what you should be doing and getting the answers you should. The other thing is you run into the instance where if you're constantly going different places, you're never going to have direct access to the people that have the knowledge in every regard. I think that's probably what it comes down to. The biggest thing out of all of that, if anybody was to take away from it, is that with your program, for instance, and the reason I joined personally is because I had access to you and Cody. I wasn't joining a program and then getting my answers from somebody that you guys hired or something like that who hasn't actually built the agency. So that comes back and circles back to how did you get your answers? Why do you ask those questions and stuff like that? Is because I have one source of the knowledge, and the source of knowledge I'm getting the knowledge from is somebody who's actually done what I want to do and in the footsteps of like that I want to be walking a year, 2 years, 5 years from now. So I know that was kind of long-winded, but I would attribute it to that as well. It's a divine path. And you guys have not just provide that knowledge to create the path for somebody like you have for me, but it's all consolidated in one place and you guys have actually done it. You haven't hired people to coach people how to do it.
Yeah, that's one thing we pride ourselves on here in the GSD. And thank you for that, by the way. is that like it's unique where the coaches actually show up to coach. So that's one thing that I've experienced personally when I've hired high ticket coaching where it's 100 grand or 50 grand or whatever it may be. But then the people who I thought were going to be part of that team weren't even showing up themselves. So it's kind of like a big stab in the heart. So while the content could be good, it's just not received well because the people who are coaching you are not proven guns in all cases. In some cases they are, in most cases they're not. But yeah, no, I definitely appreciate that. But yeah, one of the things is like when you join a coaching program, you get access, you open up new relationships, you get access not only to like some of the entrepreneurs network, their resources, their team, but also the community of other people. And think of it like you mentioned, like the free stuff, the master classes, the couple $100 things, and then the coaching. Think of it like a concert ticket. If you wanted to get like a Justin Bieber ticket, you can always watch it for free on YouTube. Now, if you want to get a better experience and have it on the go at all times, you can always buy his album. And then if you want more access, go to his concert. If you want the ultimate access, get backstage passes and you'll have a small group of people that can kick it and have a really good time and get tons of value from Beebs, right? Same thing when it comes to coaching is have that mentality of the more access you want, naturally, the more it's going to actually cost to invest into you. But your ROI is what the missing link is. So like kind of pivoting into ROI, like if you can kind of quantify, I know this may be hard on the spot, but do your best. Like what would you say like your return on investment has been so far since in the last 9 months?
Gotcha. All right. So I'm not even going to give you a guesstimate. I'm going to pull up my Stripe account right now. Okay. So since, let's see here. So let me see if I can do all. I'm just going to do year to date because I didn't really turn a profit until end of January going into February. So really there's only a month difference. So the majority of the past 9 months has been, the 9 months has been with you guys. So the majority of this year to date, I was with you guys and I attribute a lot, if not all of what I've done up to this point to what you guys have helped me with. So in year to date, we've brought in gross $369,300. So what's the ROI on that?
So like I mean, 3 million%. I'm not a mathematician, but that's a lot of zeros.
Here, I'll pull it up. So if anybody actually wants to see it, here's the number right there. Year to date. See it?
Man, I love that, dude.
You can see it right there.
Fully transparency right here on the GSD. The numbers don't lie.
Yeah. So it's been
well, congratulations. I did not know it was that high. I was thinking it would be in the 300s, but not 369. That's a good number. I mean, I'm looking, we still got more days left before the year ends. I mean, shit, we may be able to hit that 400 mark.
We do.
Then, how would you say that again?
I plan on collecting a few more before the end of the year too. In total, the past 14 months, I'm at just under 380, 377.7.
Okay, so the fire and the fuel kind of got accelerated, like when you started joining and learning and up leveling the skills. So that's really good to hear. Now, like, how does this compare to what you were doing before you started your agency? Like in comparison, like, do you like your life better? Do you have more freedom? Is the money better? Like what's changed with Mason?
All of the above. So as you can see from the number, obviously the money situation has changed. So one thing that's been great, I mean, the other not so like numerical are like you have the numerical ROI, right? Like you have the monetary ROI from it, but then I have the other stuff outside of that. So that ROI that I've seen monetarily from like the fuel that you guys gave me to under the fire, I guess, so to speak, the fuel in the fire was one, it allowed me to pay off all my student loans, my car and stuff like that. So even though I wasn't dumping everything I made into it, it did allow me to pay off a lot quicker than I would have if I was still working my W-2 as an engineer. I have essentially quadrupled what my engineering salary was, which is incredible because you guys also teach how to increase your profit margins. So that's one other thing. Before getting started, my profit margins were fairly thin, weren't razor thin because I knew enough, like I needed to have a little bit of leeway. So I was doing a little bit better than the typical agency, I would say, because a lot of agencies run on very thin margins, but it's vastly improved since partnering with you guys. And that's one of the things that's been constantly evolving over time as well, improving that even more so. The other big difference I would say is one, I feel like since I partnered with you guys in March, And a lot of this is the work that I put in on my own too, right? Like you got to be a person, like you said, is constantly willing to evolve, stay on track yourself, keep yourself disciplined, because what you're going to put into a coaching program like this is what you're going to get out. So like, I feel like I really have had a defined path forward ever since March. Before that, again, a lot of shooting from the hip, a lot of guessing, a lot of making assumptions, pulling coaches and info from coaches and resources on YouTube and this. So I was just all over the place. So I no longer feel like I'm shooting from the hip. I feel like I have a defined path. The other thing is I feel like I have genuinely gotten a lot of time back. And whenever I get to the point where like next step now, like bringing on a salesperson, we've evolved those conversations I've been having with you now and stuff like that, and bringing on some more like appointment, like call triagers and stuff for me because my calendar is booking up, which is a blessing. But like whenever it starts getting busy now, I have not just the resources in terms of you, but the resources you provide us in terms of how to scout people and how to hire people. So even when I do start getting that point again, where my calendar starts getting filled up and I feel like I'm working in the business and not on the business, I have those quick resources between what you have in the program and what you guys offer to help me quickly alleviate that. So I know on the last call we had like this, like whatever it was 6 months ago or so, maybe a little bit longer, I was joking about how I brought on a client while I was drinking a butter beer, like in Harry Potter World at Universal. And I had a client join on while I was there. And so like I've been able to hire people. I have 4 people on the team now. And so my time is really spent on the stuff that I want to be spending. Like I'm doing the sales and the majority of the sales and stuff and client relation stuff. But when it comes to onboarding, running the ads, managing the ads, not just for the agency, but for the clients and everything, that's all outsourced now. So before I was shoot from the hip, didn't really have a roadmap, and I was doing all of those things. And now I have a lot of time back. And whenever I do get to the point, because it always evolves, you are going to get to a point where it starts to fill up again. I have the resources to help alleviate it. So it's been great. It's given me more time and freedom outside of the business. And like I said, I've had other instances where I had people messaging me that they wanted to join last week, where I wasn't in Harry Potter World again, but I was in Vegas and I had it happening there. So it's all in all, it's been quite a change, and it's truly been a blessing. And I'm blessed that you guys have been a part of it, because I attribute what you guys have done to a lot of it.
Amazing, man. And we attribute a lot of the effort to you, man. So it's a two-way relationship. So, I mean, you asked for results and we told you how to do it and taught you what we know in our heads and infused it into you, and you took it and ran with it. So you got to give yourself a big pat on the back for doing the work. Yeah, exactly. There you go.
I try.
Exactly. So now let's talk to the audience in this part of this interview here. Like if somebody's brand new, like, and they want to start an agency and they're on the fence, like what would you tell a brand new person?
Brand new person. Okay. Don't stop shooting from the hip. Choose one person, one coach, one program that is going to be your go-to. Now, if you've done your due diligence and anybody has reviews, testimonials, like you guys have at this point, like thousands of reviews and testimonials, and there are other coaches and programs out there too. So decide whoever's best for you. But like, obviously I'm biased, and I would obviously say go with you guys based on my experience, especially being in some of those other ones and then coming to you guys. But choose somebody and just go into it all in. Don't be on the fence. Don't be one of those people who's constantly doing homework and you never take action, because the longer you're doing that, the longer you don't have a roadmap, the longer you're shooting from the hip, and the longer you're going to be suffering whatever issues you're suffering now. And you're going to get whatever out of the program, whatever you put into it. So as long as you are convinced that you are the type of person who is going to do the work that you should do, choose a coach now, commit, and just do the work, and you'll reap the rewards that I have, if not more, right? And so that's the one thing. And stop relying on free courses, low-level master classes, or just watching free videos to get you the type of results, for instance, like that I've seen here. Because I can tell you, the stuff that I was doing that in advance of joining you guys and joining another program just before I joined you guys, and by nature, $17 courses, for instance, are not going to give you the type of content, or not meant to give you the type of content to get you where you want to do. Where you want to go. It's an evolution. But if you really want to take the next step, dial in, find a course, take action, and trust. That's the other thing I was going to say. Trust that person. They are an expert for a reason. They have the hundreds of testimonials or thousands of testimonials and reviews from people because they've done what you want to do. They're in your shoes. So don't micromanage. Don't question everything they do. Just listen to them, trust their roadmap, put in the work, and you're going to see the type of results that you want to see.
Thank you for that. Like, listen to Mason. He's got some great advice, having been through the ringer. If you're new, I know we're pressed for time here, but last question. What do you tell somebody who's more experienced in their agency and they're stuck?
So, I would say same thing at that point, even if you have a lot of experience, you may not necessarily be, quote, shooting from the hip anymore, or you don't have, maybe you have guidance, maybe you don't. I'm assuming that you're probably not shooting from the hip. You have some structure if you have a fairly decent business in place already, whether it's at the level of mine or beyond. But you may get to a plateau, which is something like you referred to it earlier, like the interesting conversations that we have had, and the relationship kind of that I built with you and Cody, not just in the coaching program and the weekly calls, but outside of that. Because of the type of effort that I put in, the type of effort that you guys put into your clients as well, like into me, I'm extremely grateful for that. And so if that's part of the reason that has evolved, because I have hit plateaus. It's not like it's been smooth sailing since March. That's not the case. I ran into issues, you know that, right? With clients wanting to leave, somebody back charging. Like, you're going to run into that instant, those hiccups along the way. Or for instance, like, I got stuck at, what was it, 20 to 30,000 monthly recurring for several months. And I was like, Rahul, I don't know where to go from here. Like, I need your help. I need to dial it in. And so really it's just that extra guidance. You never know that one person, like if you have that little bit of extra coaching, who's going to give you that one little piece of knowledge or that roadmap that's going to like cue the light bulb to go off, right? And help you break through that plateau. Because for me already, just in the last 9 months, I personally have felt like there's probably been at least 3 significant plateaus. One was at the beginning when I joined the program. The other one was, like I said, the $20,000 to $30,000 month mark. And now bringing in anywhere from 30 to 40 and beyond regularly on a monthly basis now. I'm at that point now where I'm starting to get to another plateau. And we started having those conversations of putting more sales people in place and triagers and stuff like that. So even if you're not shooting from the hip and you have an established business, but you have reached a plateau, partner with somebody who has done what you have done or has already surpassed that plateau. That would probably be my best advice. And that's why I am always biased to this course, because I have been a part of other courses before this one, and they're great people. They also have reviews, they have testimonials, but the people teaching you on a weekly basis that you have daily or weekly access to are not the people actually surpassing the plateau that you're at. Which is something different about you guys. Like, you get access to you get access to Cody. So even though you might not be shooting from the hip, partner with somebody who's past that plateau you're at, that'll help you give that knowledge, and then just commit to that consistency of being open-minded as well and listening to that guidance that they have.
Awesome, Mason. Thank you, man, for the time. I know that we both have to go for meetings right now, and that's what happens when your calendar's packed and you got the systems rocking and rolling. You get busy. But thank you for allowing us to be part of your life and your journey, and we'll continue to document this in another 3 months and see how far we came.
Absolutely, man. I'm excited. I'm at the point now where I've had such a great experience with you guys, and you probably with our outside text messages outside of this and stuff. And I know I didn't get to see you in California, which I will the next time I'm at, but I'm one of those people that I could literally chant GSD for life now, for real. Like, we could turn it into a hashtag or something. I don't know. But anyway,
we have to do that.
That's how I feel. So I appreciate the kind words as well. And I have nothing but great things to say about you guys. And if, again, I'll say the same thing. If anybody's watching this update and they want an update on how things are going, or if have any other questions they feel they're not getting online, even though you guys pump out a tremendous amount of content, by all means, feel free to reach out to me, and I'll give everybody a candid review on what I think of things and why they should join, or what problems I had, or what's the best way to put it? Like, everybody's hesitant about something, right? So if they're hesitant about something and they don't know what to expect of the course once they're in it, or having access to you guys, feel free to reach out to me. Other than that, it's a blessing, Rahul, that I partnered up with you guys. I can't say how much I appreciate you. And I'm happy that we got to do another call. I'm excited for the future.
Awesome. All right. We'll see you guys on the next episode. And if you guys need help, just hit us up with a hashtag GSD wherever you see this video.
GSD for life. Talk soon.
Bye. Thanks, Mason.